Even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take. How your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we celebrate today National Selfie Day.
This is ridiculous.
How'd they already get a day for selfies? Go Skateboarding Day.
You know better than that.
National Daylight Appreciation Day.
You're absolutely useless.
I think we'll stick with National Peaches and Cream Day. That sounds like a good place to start for me. Checking the markets this morning. We have been watching what they're doing. They're down 17 points right now on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Actually make that 26 points as the market refreshes. Oil down 15 cents per barrel. That means the national average of a gallon of gasoline, $2.28.2. Here in Taxifornia, $2.99.3. Just to throw a little fuel on the fire, in South Carolina, they're paying $1.96.2. Ow! Yeah, they don't like so much in the taxes over there, but, you know, we like taxes here in Taxifornia, so we'll just pay a little more money. Moving right along, the U.S. 10-year Treasury down a little bit, about 7 basis points, 2.166 I have been sharing with you. That is heading down to a whopping 1.8, 1.9, right in that range is where my projections are. That's just one person's projections. There are others who see the same issue. What's going on in the world today? You gotta love it. Back to the taxing and fiscal irresponsibility.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this one as well. Check it out. It is happening in Illinois. Illinois is the dateline for this report. A financial meltdown in Illinois. Now, here's the issue that they're talking about. Under their incarcerated governor, or former governor, Rod Blagojevich, he decided to, we'll just pay the pension or the unions whatever they want, being that he's not going to be in office anyway when the bill comes due. Well, the bill's coming due, and the state currently has $130 billion in unfunded pension obligations and a backlog of unpaid bills worth $13 billion. Yes, $13 billion. So if you go to Illinois and you buy a lottery ticket, you may not be getting paid for it just the way it is. And what is their solution? Well, they want a federal bailout. Obviously, the other 49 states are probably not in a good thought on that one, on bailing out Illinois, because they can't be fiscally responsible. Do you hear this, Governor Brown? Fiscally responsible? Unbelievable. So what's going to happen? Well, there's a good question. They're talking about raising taxes. Now, it's not like California when you're living in Illinois. There are a lot of states that border Illinois. Not too difficult to move out of state so you don't have to pay those taxes.
So I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah, that is former President Obama's hometown. Yeah, he likes the idea of taxing whatever you can, giving away whatever you can. Unbelievable. Moving right along. Yeah, Georgia. Georgia's in the news today. They decided that They don't care what the people of California think. They don't care what the people of New York think. They don't care about the people of Massachusetts. Send all the money you want. They're still going to vote for who they want to. Jon Ossoff was the loser yesterday. Yeah, Karen Handel won by about 6 percentage points. Once again, the polls got it wrong. Democrats now 0-5 in special elections. 0-5 in special elections. They haven't been able to figure out why people don't want or don't appreciate their message. Think about that concept. Now, $23 million was sent to this one election in Georgia from California, New York, and Massachusetts. $23 million. All for the people to say, we don't care, keep your money. Well, actually send the money. We don't mind it. You can put $23 million into their economy, but they're still not going to vote for the people that some of these left-wing zealots are pushing them towards. Now, part of it could be, once again, the Democrats just a little bit clueless. They can't figure out what's going on here right now. Think about this. They don't know.
What are you doing?
Yeah, they don't know. They have no idea on that one. So they put up somebody in the district who doesn't live in the district, which gave the winner there, gave her the opportunity of just simply saying, who are you voting for? Well, the answer to that question is, he doesn't get to vote. Lived outside of the district. He got a little bit too overzealous. They decided the way to win this was to get out more and more votes. Well, the idea, though, is they went and started knocking on the doors of Republicans and asked them to go out and vote. Ossoff never did define himself, so all he could do is say, don't vote for her, but he didn't give him a reason to vote for himself. Hello, Hillary Clinton. People got tired of his ads. And eventually the Republicans just said, and it's been a Republican district forever. But here's the idea is the Republicans finally got tired of it and said, something? I think we better show up and let them know that we do have a vote. We do have an opinion. This has been a Republican-held seat for 40 years. And that's the way we're going to continue going. Moving right along. New York Times finally admits there's pretty much no evidence against Trump in the collusion issue. Can I ask a fairly simple question then? If there's no evidence of collusion, what are we spending so much money, so much time, so much effort, and in the case of the New York Times, so much ink discussing something that's non-existent? Unbelievable how they continue going on with this same issue, not dealing with the matter, the facts. Now, and obviously we listened to Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
You listen to some of these folks, and it's just, I'm a simple guy. I don't understand some of these things. So we hear Chuck Schumer talking about the idea, that he's not going to vote, or they're not going to bring a vote on health care. Because the bill is just so bad. And Nancy Pelosi, she says, how can you vote on something that you've never seen?
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
So here's the question. How can it be both ways? How can they not have seen it yet know it's bad? Does that make any sense? I mean, if you've seen it, you can make a determination on its pro or con. If you haven't seen it, how do you determine the good or the bad of the bill? So which one is it? Have you seen it or haven't you seen it? And which is it? Now we know that Chuck Schumer's idea of being the leader of the minority in the Senate is to see how little he can do, to see how much he can obstruct,
You're absolutely useless.
to see how much he can get in the way. Now we know that states are 100, 130, 150% higher in their health care, yet they look and say, well, Obamacare is doing just fine. Again, how can it be both ways? It can't be that Obamacare is great and wonderful and imploding, and they don't want to do anything about it. They want to just get in the way. And then Chuck Schumer says, well, we wanted to be involved in the conversation. Well, he said right along, they're not going to vote for it. They're not going to have anything to do with it. Which is it, Mr. Schumer? Can you figure that out? Can you clean this up for us? I just listen to them, and they just defy all semblance of logic. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, Wine Wednesday, Robert Mott will be checking in the supply and demand problem, plaguing new construction, 14 inexpensive and essential items to bring on a road trip, and some financial lessons learned in the military that anyone and everyone can benefit from. Remember, you can reach us anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, at Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. If you're over 62 years of age, want to manage your taxes a little better, maybe want to manage your Social Security benefits a little bit better, and have an optional mortgage payment. You make a decision, do you want to make one or not? the reverse mortgage might be the right solution for you. The supply and demand problem plaguing new construction. Many real estate economists have called on new home builders to ramp up production to help relieve the shortage of inventory of homes for sale throughout the United States. The added inventory would no doubt aid buyers in their search to secure their dream home while also helping to ease price increases throughout the country. Unfortunately for builders, there are many forces that are making it difficult for them to do just that. Last week, the National Association of Real Estate Editors' 51st Annual Conference, CoreLogic's chief economist Frank Nothaf broke down the 4 L's of new home construction: lots, labor, lumber, and lending. The concept of supply and demand is ripe in the new home construction industry. The 4 L's of new home construction are each suffering a supply problem, and with that comes added costs. We'll talk about more of that a little later in the broadcast. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again brought to you by the AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. Red wine means it is time for our weekly chat with Robert Mott. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Ron. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. Looking forward to really clearing up some issues here today, Robert. It's in Southern California. I don't know where you're calling us from today, but Southern California, it's hotter than heck. Out in the Coachella Valley, it's even hotter than that. Arizona, I understand they can't even fly an airplane there because it's so hot. How do we keep our wine the right temperature? I mean, we got to bring it all back to wine somehow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that is a great question, Ron. It's one of the things that has a tremendous amount of impact on how you perceive the wine, and it's one of the things that, frankly, as I watch other people serve wine, very few people get this right. And of course, that's a relative term, of course, especially when you're talking to temperature. But, it seems like serving wine should be an easy thing, just open the bottle, pour it. But anybody who's ever struggled with a bad cork or listened to a debate on whether Cabernet you're drinking needs to breathe or be decanted or something like that, or whether you should leave it in the bottle and just pour it by glass at a time, you kind of get an appreciation that sometimes it's not really as simple as that just open the bottle and pour it thing. So if you've ever had a glass of wine that really came highly recommended but somehow was underwhelming to you, or you've been disappointed, or more importantly, maybe you've been disappointed by a wine you'd loved previously. Maybe the wine simply wasn't served in a way that allowed it to, actually show its colors. Temperature and glassware, and we've talked about glassware many times on the show, and we know what a big impact that has. But temperature also can significantly affect wine's aromas and flavors, as can decanting and other ways of varying. Understanding the hows and the whys kind of will help you decide what's best for your particular wine and what the occasion is. And here are some guidelines on serving temperatures for different wines. And so I know you guys are probably in your car and you may not be able to write it down or anything, but the nice thing about Ron is he records his shows and you can always come back and listen to this later, since we'll be talking some temperature numbers here. So when you're serving wine, I think the best thing to do is think like Goldilocks. It's not too warm, not too cold. It's got to be just right. So too hot, and the wine's alcohol will be overly emphasized, leaving it kind of flat and flabby. If it's too cold, the aromas and flavors will be muted, and for reds, the tannins may seem very harsh and astringent, and the whites, served right out of the fridge like that, will seem very acidic, perhaps, and all you get really is the acid and the alcohol. So one of the things is, if you pull whites out of the refrigerator that may be way too cold, and if you serve reds at quote-unquote room temperature, and we know that room temperature is one of those things that varies tremendously, but we always used to hear that, reds should be served at room temperature, but that was kind of a European thing. And in Europe, room temperature generally isn't quite as warm as we have here, especially in the Coachella Valley or Southern California right now, or even up here. I'm in Northern California in the East Bay of San Francisco East Bay, and right now your room temperature may be a little higher than it normally would be. But generally, we tend to keep our room temperature in that 70-plus degree temperature range, and it can be a little warm for your reds. Neither the refrigerator temperature or the kind of U.S. domestic room temperature is really ideal. So what is just right then? So just right really is, of course, a matter of, number one, individual taste, but here are some general guidelines. If you have light, dry, red, or white wines, rosés, or sparkling wines, these need to be served at kind of the maximum chill level. Think those as the ones that are coldest. So things like a Sauvignon Blanc, rosé, or Champagne, you want to target serving them between 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's really to preserve their freshness and their fruitiness. For sparkling wine, obviously keep them chilled more toward the lower end of that range. That way it keeps the bubbles very fine and not really frothy. It's also a good range for white dessert wines. So because sweetness is accentuated at warmer temperatures, so chilling them preserves that balance of the acid and the sweetness without kind of muting those the aromas that they have. So next will be full-bodied white wines and light fruity reds. So here think California Chardonnay or perhaps a French Beaujolais or even a Pinot Noir. Serve these between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously, that's warmer than your refrigerator. It may be close to your cellar temperature if you have a wine cellar. That really turns out to be maybe just a little cooler than your wine cellar temperature for those Chardonnays. But one thing you want to avoid for the heavier white wines is avoid over-chilling them, because that's when they really do not show well. So that's one of the things, kind of keep them in that 50 to 60 degree Fahrenheit range. Now, full-bodied red wines and ports, we're talking Cabernets and ports and things of that nature, we really tend to target 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, cooler than most room temperatures, certainly cooler than our room temperatures right now, and then obviously warmer than the ideal cellar temperatures, which would be in that 55 to 58 degree range. Anyway, this kind of helps provide that balance in tannins and fruit between Cabernets and Syrahs or something along those lines, and it makes things feel a little bit more balanced, more supple, and really de-emphasizes the more bitter components.
Let me ask you a quick question on that, Robert.
We don't always have. Go ahead.
So if I go with that light, dry whites that are supposed to be served at 40 to 50, and I keep my wine fridge, I think I have my wine fridge set at 54 or 55 degrees. Should I be cooling that wine down a little bit more, or what's the right temperature I should be storing those at? So
you're probably storing at a relatively ideal temperature. So really, just think about from the serving temperature standpoint. So before you get ready to serve that wine that you pulled out of your cellar, perhaps put it in your refrigerator for half an hour or something like that, or 20 minutes. Or if you want to be a little bit more elegant about it, a little precise about it, get an ice and water bath like you would put, like a champagne bucket, and put it in there for 10 minutes or so, and that will get a nice little, just a slight chill on it, and allow you to serve it at that right temperature. So you'd also stick the bottle in the freezer for a few minutes, but don't forget it, because when the wine freezes, well, guess what? The cork pops out many times, and then you have a superb mess on your hands in your freezer.
And we've wasted a nice bottle of wine.
Just a little, exactly. But yeah, just a little chill down will go a long way to making that wine taste a little bit better, percent better.
Okay, good news there. So now here's the next issue there, Robert. Once we start drinking it, it's so hot outside right now, and even in a lot of the houses, if you go out on the patio or whatnot, it's pretty warm. What do I do if my wine starts getting, I can't take a glass of wine outside anymore because it's hot before I finish it.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially when you have the wines in the glass. So here's my approach, and it's not perfect. For instance, if I'm drinking a nice Cabernet and I'd like to, and I'm kind of odd, I drink Cabernet all year round. A lot of people don't do that; they think it's too hot outside. But if I happen to be sitting on the patio in the evening and I'm having a snack or something that goes really well with a nice heavier red wine, And the ambient temperature maybe is 85, 90 degrees, which obviously is a really poor temperature for your red wine. I'll do that ice bath thing, and what I'll do is I'll just regulate the amount of ice I put in the water. So I'll have a champagne bucket there, and I'll just put a little bit of ice in there, enough to keep the temperature of the water chilled slightly. I'll leave the bottle in there, just like you would like a champagne bottle. And then all I do is when I'm serving it to myself and others, is I make a real point of not over pouring in the glass. In other words, we do, from the manufacturing parlance, you think about just-in-time inventory.
Sure. Well,
kind of the same thing when it comes to your wine glass. You just pour in there, enough for the next, 5 minutes or so, and then don't, and obviously we get a little lazy that way, want to over pour, but in this case resist that notion and just pour enough for the next few minutes.
That makes a whole lot of sense. I was actually at a friend's house the other night, and he was pouring a nice Ferrari Carano Chardonnay, and somebody went and put ice cubes in it, and I think he almost had a coronary. I think he almost went crazy on that. Not the way to do it.
And people get that way, as you know. Ice in your wine, that's one of those things that I want to say, that old, it's one of those old TV shows that, they're trying to find out if somebody was crazy or not. Have you ever seen this person do anything crazy because they wanted to have her committed? And then somebody said, well, I saw her put ice in her wine one time, so that might be enough to get it done.
That would make the list for me as well. So the idea here is just pour a little short pours. Now, is there any way of dealing with that in a restaurant, being that, if you're buying a wine by the glass, dealing with a shorter pour like that? Is there any common way of dealing with that at all?
On a wine by the glass situation, it's quite difficult unless they do something like some obviously some restaurants have those little mini carafes so that they can better measure what their pours are. In that case, if you have a mini carafe that the restaurant uses for that, just ask them not to fill your glass up all the way and take the carafe away. Ask them perhaps to bring a nice big water glass with a little bit of ice in it that you can sit the mini carafe in, just to keep a chill on it. That's one way. I've seen that done before, and I've done it a little bit myself. But if it's really a wine by the glass situation where they don't have that little mini measuring carafe that they pour from, then I think you're just going to have to drink fast. Before it warms up.
Drink faster, buy the whole bottle, and that way you don't have the problem.
Exactly, and the whole bottle is always a better deal, as we know, from an economic standpoint. So it's almost always a better deal to buy the bottle.
Absolutely, and I got one other quick question for you: grape variety versus varietal. Can you help us out on that one real quick?
Yeah, real quick. It's one that's commonly confused. So variety is a type of grape. So Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, those are varieties of grapes. A varietal is the wine that's made from one grape variety. So there are Pinot Noir wines, there's Chardonnay wines, Syrah wines are varietals, each one made from one grape variety. It's a subtle difference, but it's one of those things that helps separate us kind of total wine nuts from maybe the people who aren't quite as obsessed about the subject. But variety is a grape, varietal is a wine.
So if I'm talking about the fruit, then it's a variety. If I'm talking about the wine, it's a varietal.
That's correct. You got it.
Got it. Okay, great information as always, Robert Mott. Thank you for joining us every Wednesday morning. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, inexpensive and essential items to bring on a road trip. We'll chat about it and some lessons learned in the military that anyone can benefit from. Remember, you can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, and if you want to get that great information that Robert Mott just shared with us, YouTube, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? Do you know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS? If you don't have a living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Services toll-free at 1-855-434-7400 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook, Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs for you. Inexpensive and essential items to bring on that next road trip. That is the subject of our Your Credit Matters segment today. Now, this is just some different things. Now, I don't know if you're going to be going in a car, going in by plane, but there are many items that you might want to be thinking about packing for a trip, and this can feel like trying to squeeze a lot of things into a small package. So here are a few of them. Luggage tags, easy to overlook, but if you're on a plane or a train or a boat or something along those lines, if something happens, the luggage tag can be invaluable. Flip-flops are an easy one, relatively inexpensive, but number one, when you're going through the TSA lines or if you're in a bathroom, lounging around a hotel room, going into maybe a health club, flip-flops might be a nice one. You may want to bring a little tiny packet of detergent. They've got the little sink size, I think less than $2 over at Bed Bath & Beyond, or I think Travel-On biodegradable laundry soap sheets. Very, very inexpensive. A clothesline, just a little bit of a rope, hang in the bathroom in case you need to dry something off. REI, about $10. Toiletry bottles. Remember, TSA only allows liquid containers up to 3.4 ounces through security, so you may want to be looking into that one. A toiletry bag, a little bit more expensive, but might be worth the money you spend on it. LL Bean has a small bag, about $25. Samsonite, $22. That's at Macy's. You can get a little bit of different issues there. A neck pillow, if you're flying quite a bit, a neck pillow might be beneficial for you. Again, REI, $19.50. Earplugs. That's a good one that, there might be a baby in the neighborhood. You may want to put those earplugs in. A sleep mask if you have trouble sleeping with a lot of light around you. Don't forget, if you're going out of the country, a plug adapter set might be a good idea. A USB battery pack might be good if you have a cell phone or iPad or something like that that may have problems charging, or you're going to be away from power for a while. A travel credit card. Make sure you're looking at the credit card. Make sure you advise your credit card company where you're going to be so they don't shut off your card while you're gone. Just check on that one. There are some places where you can actually look for a reusable water bottle. And I know that TSA won't let you go through security with a fully loaded water bottle, but something, once you're clear through security, you may want to have a water bottle that you can just go and fill up, or heck, I think a lot of the airports I've been in lately, beyond the security window, they've got a Starbucks and get a nice glass of water from them right there. And you might want to bring a notepad. I use my phone for that, but who knows, if your phone runs out of battery, you could be in trouble on that issue. So just be aware if that happens to you. You gotta just make sure you're watching what's going on. That is the Your Credit Matters segment. Again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for any mortgage, Gold Star is ready for you. Chatting earlier about the supply and demand problem plaguing new construction, and we did speak about Frank Nothaf's 4 L's of new home construction. Didn't get into it very much. We just threw the headlines at you. Lots, labor, lumber, and lending. So let's look at each one of those a little bit to see where we stand on those. Lots. There is a shortage of land near metros at an affordable price, causing builders to move farther and farther away from cities to keep costs down. This isn't always an attractive option for those who want to stay close to work. Labor. The Great Recession forced many skilled construction and trade workers to find other sources of income once their jobs were lost at the time of the crash. Even though the overall housing market has recovered, these workers have not returned. Those who remain are starting to age out and retire, causing even more of a shortage and additional costs. That's why we've talked about many times. See, the president just went out, whether you're for or against his programs or policies. The concept of this apprentice program makes a whole lot of sense for a lot of people because you get some education out there. So let's look at lumber. The cost to build a new home is directly tied to the cost of the lot and the cost of the supplies needed to build the home. Lumber costs continue to escalate due to policies restricting the importation of Canadian lumber, making larger luxury homes an attractive option to recoup costs when selling, rather than building smaller single-family homes and making less profit. So if you look at a chart on the cost of framing lumber, going from, just looking at the graphs that they show, pretty much straight up, going from about $320 up to about $440 is the cost of framing lumber per 1,000 board feet. Year over year, lumber costs are up 13%. After reaching a high of $433 in the second week of April, up 13%. Ow! Yeah, that's not a good number if you're looking at continuing to try and build. And lending. During the Great Recession, many small community banks were forced to close their doors. These banks were a great source of capital and lending for builders looking to borrow money at low interest rates in the community in which they were building. Tougher lending standards have made borrowing funds more expensive and more difficult for builders. And the idea of trying to get a construction loan for that single-family property, very, very difficult right now. The bottom line, Additional costs across all 4 L's have made building luxury properties more attractive to builders as they're able to make a larger margin with the higher sales price. The move to scale down to starter and trade-up homes to help with supply will mean any additional costs are absorbed by the builders unless the 4 L's can increase and the builders are not buying the property so that they can give it away for free. That's just the bottom line right there. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, lessons learned in the military that anyone can benefit from. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, at Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA-insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to REAP@RonSiegelRadio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 0186945 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel. Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? Do you know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS? If you don't have a living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Services toll free at 1-855-434-7400 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook, Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with a national expert, Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Financial lessons learned in the military that can benefit anyone. That is the subject of today's Word on Wealth segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text, there's 2 different items that you can get here for free from our real estate friends. If you text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564, you'll be able to get on a home search, 2 different items again there. You get on a home search based on the parameters you set. You get a text message every time one of those properties comes on the market. Pretty simple stuff. You can also get set up, all you have to do is ask, it's all free, to get a text message every time a home sells in your neighborhood, and that way you can find out what the home sold for. Again, text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Get on that home search. And the other one that we've shared with you many, many times is the concept of getting that home equity appreciation. The professional equity analysis review is what we call it. All you have to do is text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564. P-E-A-R, 79564. And you can get the equity in the equity position of your property. Again, that does not mean just taking what the property value is and understanding that that's your equity. That is not the equity position of your property. So be careful on that one. We don't want to get you bad information there. So just be cognizant of that concept. So what are some of the benefits that the military teaches? And this kind of goes to a skills that come out of the military, financial lessons. So there are military people, they learn these different lessons, and then they go on and they're able to teach them to others. So here are some of the lessons. Number one, have control of your money at all times. Physical money management is taught early on in the basic training program. Every bit of cash you have needs to be accounted for and neatly organized. The instructors ask them to write down the serial number of every dollar they earned. This reduces theft and teaches the habit of keeping track of the money they earn and spend. Not everyone keeps the serial number of all their bills, but you should know where your money is and how it's being spent, saved, and invested. If you don't have a handle on your money, who will? You're the one in charge of your money, not anyone else. If you're on time, you're late. In the service, you quickly learn you need to be ahead of schedule for everything. Being late is not acceptable. If you're late, it could affect an entire mission. Planning to complete tasks early ensures that you'll be on time even if something unexpected happens. This applies to paying bills and savings as well. Something could come up to make you late. Instead of waiting until late on the day your bill is due, take care of it in advance to ensure that even if problems come up, your financial life stays on schedule. Even better, consider automated payments so you don't have to worry about being late. Wow, have we heard that one before? Save money from every paycheck. Every supervisor, while serving in the military, made it clear to their people living paycheck to paycheck was not the way to live. For most young folks joining the military, it's their first time away from home and their first time earning a paycheck. The sudden influx of money and freedom can lead to crazy spending and zero saving. Even if you don't serve, this is a common experience for recent graduates starting their first job, heck, even going to the first time going away to school. Each supervisor encouraged their folks to live within their means and save part of each paycheck. By saving money from each check, you build up money for when the unexpected happens. Number 4, use your resources. As a new recruit in the military, they don't know all the resources available. Fortunately, they had supervisors who mentored them through some of the very early financial mistakes, like charging all new things for an apartment instead of borrowing household items from the lending closet on base. Think about that. They could have borrowed items and bought the things needed as needed instead of running up credit card debt. The lesson, take advantage of any free resources you have before spending money unnecessarily. Asking for help to find the free resources available can save you money. And learn from the mistakes of others. When you make a mistake in the military, the supervisor, drill sergeant, or peers will call you out on it immediately. Mistakes happen. They're part of learning and growing. In the military, they learn not to hide or forget by mistakes, but to review them to figure out ways to avoid them in the future. That way, they don't make the same mistakes over and over. When it comes to finances, this applies in several ways. For example, charging a bunch of household goods on a credit card was a mistake. But you can learn ways to avoid making that mistake in the future by using the free resources we just spoke about. That is the Word on Wealth segment, again, brought to you by area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Get on that free home search. Find your dream home before someone else does. That is the whole concept of that one there. Came up with this quick tutorial here on being that we're right now going into the scholarship timer, or people are making decisions looking for financial aid on colleges. A couple of ways to save for college or to pay for college without student loans. And you know I'm not a big fan of the student loans, but number 1, scholarships. Check out collegeboard.org or fastweb.com, niche.com, Moolahspot, MOOLAHSPOT.com. All different sources where you can find money available. Check for the right school. What is the return on investment from the school? You may not necessarily like the name of the school, but you're going there for a short period of time. And the idea there, maybe you want to go to a community college, get your first 2 years done, get your AA degree, transfer that to a 4-year school, save a boatload of money. But choose the right school. Do your homework on this one. And again, like I said, go to community college, community school first. Big fan of that one. Just unless you're getting a full ride, Check that out. Go with honors. There's a new program that takes this route a step further. AmericanHonors.org will guarantee your admission to big-name schools if you do the required coursework and maintain your grade point average. The cost to go to American Honors route is about $3,000 a semester in tuition and fees. Work-study programs, they're available. Employer reimbursement programs, check them out. Grants, working during school, look at directional schools. A lot of different options out there. Just check it out and make sure you set that first radio preset button. To come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.